Hoarding. Where will you be 3 years from now? That is a great question. I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, for the last 3 decades, I've been a professional house cleaner inside people's homes, and for 25 years of that, I was personally inside the homes, and I was cleaning every day, working with people with different types of lifestyles. So there were some people that had really clean homes, and there were people that were very cluttered, and then there were people that had hoarding type situations. So we got to deal with all of those different types. For the last 5 years full time, I've been working and training cleaning companies that go into those homes, and they do the cleaning and the upkeep of those homes. And so there's a lot that I've been involved with when it comes to hoarding. And one of the things that I've noticed is that over a 3-year window, things either get really bad or they get really good. It's your choice. I want to share with you a story about Marilyn, and that's not her real name. But Marilyn was from a background where she believed that the end days were going to put a lock on our food storage and that there was not going to be any food and not enough food to go around. And so every time she'd go to the store, she'd buy one for now and one for later, or one for now and 5 for later. She had lots of stuff. And it was just her and her husband, instead of buying a bag of beans, for example, she would buy lots of bags of beans, like 20 bags of beans. And if there was something on sale, let's say a box of pasta, she would buy 20 boxes of pasta. And so she filled up her entire pantry. And then she filled up a bedroom of her house with all this food because, food storage. And one day there was going to be no food and she wanted to have extra on hand. So here it is, a middle-aged couple that don't have kids living at home and they don't have lots of mouths to feed. It's just the two of them, but more food than they will probably ever eat in their entire lifetime in the pantry and the bedroom of their house. Well, an interesting thing happened. And in the pantry, she had all these boxes of stuff that was stacked up because she didn't have enough room on the shelves. And then there was a leak in the roof of the house. And as it started to leak water onto the boxes of food, not only did it disintegrate the food, but it turned it into kind of a compost pile, right? Because as the boxes started to fall apart and the stuff inside got wet, all of a sudden it started to decompose. But it was too much of a hassle because all the boxes were on top of each other, and it started leaking down the sides of the boxes and into the floorboards. Over a 3-year period, the most amazing thing happened. The food that was inside started to decompose, and as it did, it started to decompose the wood that was now wet that the floor was sitting on. And as it ate through the floorboards, it weakened the floorboards and it made it susceptible to mice and bugs that came in from underneath the house in the crawl space that came in and infested her pantry. And it wasn't just her pantry. The mice and the rodents and the bugs don't live in just the pantry alone. They kind of like run out underneath the door, right? So they ran into other areas of her home. And so, what do you do? Put out a few mice traps? So she did what she could, but what happened is the infestation took over, as did the rotting of the floorboards. And because it was such a fiasco, in order to get to the roof, to get that fixed and to fix the drywall and all the stuff in the pantry, that meant she would have to pull everything out of the pantry in order to do that, which was just too much work, so she didn't. So the ceiling got worse, and then it started to really pour, and she just put buckets in there to catch the water and would empty the buckets, which was far more time consuming than if she would have stopped early on when the first leak in the roof started, right? She could have preserved all the food and what have you. But now 3 years have passed, the floorboards are rotted, the home is infested, the roof is just in terrible states of disarray, and all of a sudden she had a severe set of problems instead of the small problems she had in the beginning. There's another friend I have, her name is Brenda, not her real name, but she had a similar situation where she started bringing things in, and it was her mother had died. And as her mother died, she didn't want to put all of her mother's stuff in a storage unit, so she brought it home to her house. And she put it around the parameters of her walls, which made getting anywhere in and out of the room kind of hard because everything was blocked by boxes. What happened was stuff started getting tripped over, and as she would get into a box, it was, I got what I needed. Let me go do this. I'll come back and put the box away. She never got the box put away. So there were all these boxes that were open, stuff that was strewn about, and it just created kind of this tumbleweed of disarray in her home. And then what happened is when her washing machine broke, to get to the washing machine, you had to go through all these boxes and pathways to get there. And so she did not call the repairman. So she started taking her clothes out to the laundromat to wash her clothes in the laundromat because her washing machine was broken. Well, along with the broken washing machine, there was a broken water line that then got underneath the house. And as it started leaking that water, it started creating mold. So now she just had a bunch of stuff in her house, but she also had the mold situation. So by the time we got to Brenda's house, we needed to call a mold remediation specialist, but they couldn't come in until we removed a lot of the stuff that had caused this blockage in her home. And the reason that I bring this up is because nothing just stays in one space. So where you just had a bunch of boxes that were lining the walls of your home, after a 3-year window, now you have mold inside your entire house because something that was broken, that broke later on, then was unable to be fixed because we couldn't get to that, right? So it's kind of like a domino effect where things happen. So I ask the question about the 3 years because is your house going to be awesome in 3 years? Or are you going to be in the same spot that you're in right now or worse? And along with that, there comes a series of family issues. And so are you going to be in 3 years from now sitting down having mandatory meetings with social services, or are you going to remedy those situations right now? Now, I'm not here to scare you and I'm not here to upset you, but I am here to paint a very real picture that you have some choices. And in 3 years is going to come and go whether you're ready for it or not. And so within 3 years, we either move in the right direction or we're letting the house decay and, disintegrate and fall apart before our very eyes. At which point in 3 or 4 years, you have so much money that's going to be required to dump into the property that it loses its property value. So if your home is an asset to you, it's not going to be worth much if the floorboards have rotted away and your home is infested, right? Or if your home is overcome by mold. There's a bunch of stuff that has to happen in order to get your home back to a livable, beautiful space. And so my question for you is, in 3 years, are you going to be down this road or are you going to be down this road? And I really need you to stop and ask yourself that question and find out, are you going to go on this journey with us? It's absolutely free. We're not asking for your money. We don't get anything out of this by helping you on your way. This is not like, oh, we get brownie points or whatever. It's not. It's just that there are a lot of people that are going through the same issues. And so instead of us feeling like we're sorry, we're broken, something's wrong with us, we don't deserve to have a good life, we do. We do. I believe everyone deserves to have a clean, tidy home that makes you feel beautiful and happy and peaceful when you arrive. A home is a place of refuge, and it should be a place of safekeeping for you and your family. It should be a place that every time you're out and about, you want to race home because you love being at home. And if your home doesn't make you feel like that right now, I want to ask you, are you willing to commit the next 3 years so that we can totally renovate the belief system that has your home in this particular situation right now? It's not that you're broken and anything's wrong. It's that if we don't do something, it's either going to get better or it's going to get worse. It's just a fact of life. Everything is like that. Relationships are like that. I mean, you look at children. Children do not stay in one spot. 3 years from now, they will be taller, they will be bigger, they will be smarter than they are right now. Things grow and evolve. They always do. They always will. And so it's a choice. And the choice is, are you going to go down this road or this road? And so if you're willing to come with us on this journey, we are not here to judge you. We are only here to help. And so we have a program called Hoarding World. Our entire world is being overcome with hoarding. And it's just the society we're in. It's not bad. It just is what it is. And so we're going to try to change the new norm. Come join us at Hoarding World. I will leave links in the show notes. Until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.